On this episode of the Turnbuckle, Triple H holds a talent meeting prior to WWE SmackDown. There's a likely spoiler on WWE's WrestleMania plans for Bray Wyatt, and Eric Bischoff responds to fans who say Vince McMahon is out of touch. Folks, we're hitting your favorite wrestling movie to some wrestling news because it's time for the Turnbuckle. WWE held a talent meeting on last Friday in Green Bay, Wisconsin, ahead of SmackDown. According to reports from PW Insider and Fightful Select, Triple H led the meeting and focused on Vince McMahon's role in the company since returning. Levesque reiterated that McMahon is only spearheading efforts to determine if the company should be sold and who it should be sold to. He also squashed rumors that a sale was already a done deal and noted that if the company is sold, the process will be much longer. Levesque stressed that McMahon's return to the company does not impact the creative team or the creative process, although he would also mention that anything can change. He said that while him and Vince may have discussions about WWE creative, Vince always defers to him for the final say. It's very disheartening to know that you have to go down to your employees and you have to corral them together and you have to say, everybody, don't worry, everything is fine, in regards to just, your old boss coming back and, just figuring out if everything's going to be all right with a sale. I mean, that really tells you a lot about Vince McMahon and just how, I don't even know how to explain it, just how bad things can go if he does end up coming back into creative, which I feel like he is still trying to do. I feel like that is something that Vince is sneakily trying to get his way back into doing. I think that right now he can't really do a whole lot just because everybody is currently looking at him. I've already talked about this ad nauseum, but I just wanted to really talk about this more just because I feel like it's very telling that, you kind of have to go around and really quell everybody's concerns, and you have to snuff out all the rumors and everything, and you have to do a lot of damage control and stuff and a lot of PR just for your investors and your shareholders and stuff like that, just to really hammer home the fact that Vince isn't really going to be doing anything in regards of grabbing hold of the wheel and everything like that. You know what I mean? It really opens your eyes to just the type of person that Vince was and just how he really handled everything, So listen, I mean, if you're a wrestler, hopefully Vince is staying as far away from creative as he possibly can. And listen, as a viewer, hopefully you don't even have to hear anything about Vince and also creative control in the same exact sentence. All right, so man, here's hoping that all we have to worry about is Vince just being in charge of the sale, and that's it. Next, we're going to talk about a likely spoiler on WWE's WrestleMania plans for Bray Wyatt. While speaking on Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer talked about Bray Wyatt's plans for WrestleMania 39. It was noted that Wyatt will be facing off against Uncle Howdy. I think we're getting that match at WrestleMania. It sure looks like that way to me. It's something. I mean, Bray's a merch seller and Bray's over, and you have to do something with him. And the top guys probably want to avoid him because his history with top guys. I mean, what did Bret Hart say? You go in as a 10 and come out as a 6. This LA Knight storyline is a really good example of that, just because I feel like I'm very surprised to see that neither one of LA Knight's fans or Bray Wyatt's fans have really started to die down. This is why I love the casual fans, man. I really do. I love the fact that not a single one of them reads the dirt sheets. Not a single one of them has a separate opinion about any one of the wrestlers. Not a single one of them has any idea what's going on with Vince McMahon. They probably don't even know the company's being sold right now. You can see how they're just they see the heel and they boo him. They see the face and they cheer him. And that's literally it. I mean, they're literally taking most of the stuff that they're seeing at face value, and there's nothing else. So I feel like in terms of how we're gonna get to Bray Wyatt versus Uncle Howdy, I really feel as though that it's probably gonna be the same thing in regards to how the storyline is going right now. You're gonna have Bray Wyatt say something, and Uncle Howdy's gonna come out, and then next week Bray Wyatt's gonna say something, and then Uncle Howdy's gonna come out, and then next week Bray Wyatt's gonna say something, and Uncle Howdy's gonna come out, and then Uncle Howdy's gonna smack him upside the head, and that's gonna be it. And then WrestleMania's gonna come around, and people are gonna lose their minds, and then everyone's gonna go absolutely insane. Man, look, all I'm saying is hopefully this gets good. That's all I'm saying, because if this is supposed to be the WrestleMania plan, then this really needs to boost in quality before we get there, because otherwise I don't know what's gonna happen with the but then again, as what I was talking about earlier, I really don't think it's going to change much because casual fans seem to just cheer and boo who they're supposed to cheer and boo, which I guess is what you really want at the end of the day. So look, only time will tell what we're actually going to see at WrestleMania. So I hopefully it's going to be good. Finally, we're going to be talking about Eric Bischoff and how he responds to those saying that Vince McMahon is out of touch. WWE Hall of Famer Eric Bischoff addressed those who believe McMahon is out of touch and what he believes it has stemmed from. The whole Vince is old and out of touch thing. You can argue that maybe creatively because you don't like Vince's vision of what wrestling should be, but it doesn't mean that he is not in control of his faculties or that he's missed a beat, Bischoff said on 83 Weeks. I think that's internet wrestling chatter because people aren't happy with what they're seeing on television. Oh, it's because he's too old. No ageism, right? Bischoff added, I would say the events of the last week would suggest that he is far from out of touch. Okay, all right. Vince isn't out of touch. He's not. It's very difficult to be out of touch when you like money because money talks and money is a universal language, okay? It's not difficult to figure out how to make money, figure out how to save money, figure out how to spend money. It's not that difficult, right? Okay, well, it depends on who you are and how you spend your money. That's not the point. Let's just say he's not really doing it in the way that everybody else thinks that he could be doing it. You know, like out of touch would imply that he's still trying to get like Goldberg and Stone Cold. Like, okay, Goldberg, yes, that you could say that was out of touch. But I mean, even when Vince was still kicking about, we didn't really see Goldberg, you know? We didn't really see, like, super old wrestlers running around. Like, you could argue that was out of touch. I mean, what else would be an example of out of touch? Because it would have to be something along the lines of something that was cool then but isn't cool now. I don't really know. I mean, if you have any examples, right, of Vince trying to push something that clearly was cool back in the day, but obviously is not going to appeal to a much more modern audience, you are more than welcome to give me some examples in the comments. But as of right now, off the top of my head, I can't really think of anything other than the egg thing, which isn't really out of touch. That's just another thing that Vince is just like, he's just, you know, doing it for money, which again, doesn't mean he's out of touch. He just knows how to like chase after money. I would argue not in like the best, most prosperous way for his consumers and his customers and everything, but he still knows how to like get sponsors. I mean, you know, he knows what he's doing with his money at least. So what do we talk about? Triple H holds a talent meeting and he doesn't want anybody to freak out because everybody thinks that Vince McMahon is just going to sink the boat. I understand where Triple H is coming from. Like at the time, don't worry, but don't just assume that everything is going to go this way or that way. You know what I mean? Just look out. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. What do you want from me? All right. And then there's a likely spoiler on Bray Wyatt. Look, Bray Wyatt is over, right? And that's good. That's what we want. We want Bray Wyatt to be over. We want the crowd to like him. I'm glad that the crowd haven't turned on him. I was worried that the crowd was going to turn on him simply because all he does is he come out and then he cuts a promo and then someone else comes out and they like hover around him and then he like smacks him. And that's literally all he's been doing for the past couple weeks. I'm hoping that Uncle Howdy and Bray Wyatt and LA, well, not so much LA Knight, but Uncle Howdy, Bray Wyatt and Alexa Bliss, hopefully they have enough juice, we're gonna say, to really skyrocket them to WrestleMania. Do they have to be the main event? No, I just want it to not be bad. Is that too much to ask? Ay. And Eric Bischoff, okay, I don't think Vince is out of touch. I don't. I just think that he has a lot of different creative opinions and all that, and a lot of people don't really like that, so they're kind of like associating that with him, not knowing that his fans want him to book certain people in certain matches in a certain way, and because he's not listening to them, it could be interpreted that he is sort of stuck in his ways of, hey, this is what I want, which means that this has to be what you want. I could be wrong. I literally sounded like I was just talking out of my left butt cheek just now, but I'm trying to say that I don't think that he's actually out of touch. I think he just has his own opinions about things, and that doesn't mean he's out of touch. But I think that's what people are basically trying to say, is that he's not listening to anyone. That could be, that could be what the interpretation is being. But again, man, I don't think he's out of touch. I think he's just, doing his own thing. Folks, that's going to do it for this episode. Hopefully everybody, wow. Hopefully everyone has a wonderful tonight and a wonderful tomorrow. Hopefully I do. Jeez Louise. And as always, big hugs. Big hugs all around.